You're listening to Lisa Marie Varon, a.k.a. Victoria from WWE, a.k.a. Tara from Impact Wrestling TNA, and you're listening to WNS Podcast. And if you are not tuned in, I'm going to come back and widow's peak your butt.
You're listening to the official Wrestling News Source podcast. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com or check us out on Facebook by searching WrestlingNewsSource.com or WNS Podcast. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Stitcher, and iTunes by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast or WNS Podcast. Now being broadcast in over 45 different countries, here are your hosts, Daniel Herron, Tyler Abear, and Doug.
That's right. What's up, everyone? I am Daniel Herron.
I'm Tyler Abear. Professional Doug.
And we welcome you to episode 260 of the official podcast for WrestlingNewsSource.com. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com. Check us out on Facebook, WrestlingNewsSource.com. You can find us on Facebook, WNS Podcast, on YouTube, WNS Video, and on iTunes, Wrestling News Source Podcast.
We are on Stitcher, Beyond Pod, and Player.fm. Just search Wrestling News Source Podcast to find us.
The podcast is on Twitter at WNS Podcast.
That's it.
WNS_Daniel.
Yeah, that's it.
Tyler's at Tyler_you.
Yeah, so there you go. So welcome to the show. Lots to talk about this week. Royal Rumble, Raw, some Q&A, a little bit of Hot Topic news, all that good stuff. But
All that
first,
jazz.
and all that jazz. So really good stuff. So before we dive into that, how you doing?
How are you doing?
I'm doing quite well.
Yeah?
Hanging in there. Yeah.
Where are you hanging from?
This chair that I'm sitting in.
Well, you're sitting on it. You're not hanging from it.
No, I'm not. Although I could dangle my feet, and
Dangle.
my feet are hanging, I guess.
Dangly.
I don't know. How are you doing?
Doing good.
Yeah?
Doing all right.
Doing well. Awesome. Doug, how are you?
I'm professional, man.
All right.
I can do this.
Yeah, let's do
Homie,
it.
He's professional.
Yeah, so the Royal Rumble took place this past Sunday. Raw took place this past Monday.
And the podcast is taking place right now.
And the podcast is taking place right now. Really good stuff. Next week, just a heads up, we're going to we're gonna try and discuss Lucha Underground. So obviously we'll be one of the last to talk about it in the wrestling world.
We're still going to talk about it.
We're still gonna talk about it because it's
With
fun.
the Total Divas.
Total Divas, that's right. For y'all.
And you.
No.
Yep.
I will not be discussing Total Divas.
Are you going to discuss Ride Along or whatever it's called?
I watched it on the network.
Yes, I saw it.
What did you think?
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's like table for three in the car, kind of.
Oh, okay.
I did laugh at Big E's flexibility, his leg flexibility.
I liked when they were in the
restaurant.
and there's like, Daddy Vince paying for this?
And they do make references to Kofi's age gap compared to Xavier and Big E.
They call him Pops.
They do call him Pops. That's right. And they also had Dolph Ziggler and The Miz ride together because I guess they're both from Cleveland, so they had to talk about Cleveland stuff.
Yeah. Their car ride seemed way less fun than the New Day car ride.
Yeah. Although it's showing like Ziggler starting to show his age where he's like, I used to be let's go party, and now I'm just like, let's go to sleep. So, I don't know. If you're interested in that kind of stuff, check it out.
20 minutes.
Yeah, it's like it's not too bad. I don't know if they're going to do like a two car ride along each episode or something like that, but
they didn't show R-Truth and
no, it was just the New Day and then Ziggler and Miz. So
next episode must be Wade Barrett and Sheamus. Then
it's going to be whoever they want. How about that?
The refs.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So welcome to the show. Well, I guess let's just we don't have any feedback because we do have some feedback, but it pertains to the Q&A. So let's dive on into the Royal Rumble, like we said, taking place this past Sunday. First matchup is the kickoff match, and that had Mark Henry, Jack Swagger going up against the Ascension, going up against the Dudley Boys, going up against the odd pairing of Darren Young and Damian Sandow. So this matchup, it was a fairly good start, but the ending was very screwed up. I know, Tyler, you were pointing out, man, this matchup was
weird.
Yeah, or at least the ending.
Yeah.
With Mark Henry breaking up. What did he break up the pin and then?
No, he did the that splash to Bubba.
Yeah.
And he was gonna pin him, but he didn't realize Bubba wasn't the legal man.
Right, and then he went for the pin on one of the members of the Ascension. The other member of the Ascension came in, stood there, while one of the Dudley boys got over to him. I think it was Devon.
It was a little weird and it was funny, but it was all right.
Yeah, but the winners of the match got entered into the Rumble, and the winners happened to be Mark Henry and Jack Swagger.
The crowd was popping for Sandow.
Oh, absolutely. They were clamoring very hard for him.
Also, whenever because Sandow came out, they came out to his music, him and Darren Young ran around him and put his arm around Sandow, and he was trying to do the millions of dollars dance with him.
But Sandow wasn't having any of that. But yeah, overall, it was a fun opener. It was just a odd ending. And if you want to know what we mean, make sure to go to the WWE Network and check that out. But let's kick things off. Opening contest, Dean Ambrose versus Kevin Owens. Intercontinental title on the line. Last man standing match. This was, I mean, it was a great opener, in my opinion. It was a very solid matchup. It was a lot of fun. These guys went to town. The crowd was hot for it. What did you guys think of it?
Yeah, the crowd was really into it. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff they teased and stuff. I did like the bumps they took and the double stacking of the table.
Yeah.
But that I don't know. Even though I popped hard for it, that cannonball he did to Ambrose on the outside to the what was that breakaway?
Oh, like the little
side
announcers area.
Yeah.
The ring announcer and the timekeeper.
Yeah, that's something easy, and people spear through that all the time. But I still like the cannonball through it.
Yeah, Doug, what do you think?
It was pretty good. I wouldn't call it great or anything. They did a lot of the standard gimmick match spots that the WWE does. I mean, I guess with the exception of like the double stack table, it was not a traditional like Fed gimmick spot. I don't know. It's sort of weird because I feel like I like both these guys, but I feel like they don't have the greatest chemistry in the world together.
Yeah.
And not that this is clearly a step up from what they've been doing, but I just wasn't wowed, especially for a guy like Owens who like sort of excels in gimmick matches. And Ambrose comes from a background where you'd think he would excel in side matches too. And they were fine here. I'm just saying, like, on the whole, like, I don't think it was anything too great or any just their feud in general. So but,
yeah,
I thought it was a good opener, and I probably sound like I'm coming down on it, but I thought it was good. I just didn't think it was anything too special.
I did chuckle at the spot where Kevin Owens got flung into Michael Cole and he broke his glasses and threw his phone and all that. Just intentionally messing with him.
I missed that part. That's what Doug was trying to point out or whatever. And I missed it.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought it was a really good match. I enjoyed it. It was Dean Ambrose being the victor on that one. So not too bad. Next matchup, we got to see tag team action. The New Day going up against the Usos.
Rocks.
And thank you.
My socks.
One of the things in our predictions that I was not counting on is the return or the debut, I should say, of Francesca 2. Had I known that was going to happen, I probably would have gone with the New Day to win.
I mean,
and retain.
well, I didn't know that they would bring it out then, but they would have brought another
eventually.
Back.
Yeah. So I don't know. This matchup was fun. I really liked the ending with the splash. Big E catching the splash and turning it into the big ending for the win.
That, but I'm blanking on certain stuff throughout that match.
Yeah, the crowd was mostly into Xavier and the trombone. Play the trombone. And so he was, nah, y'all don't deserve it. We're not going to do that. And, there was a lot of focus on the outside of the ring as opposed to what was happening inside of the ring. Doug, what do you think?
It was fun enough. This is sort of what you get from this pairing of groups. We've seen these guys wrestle each other a lot, and sort of what we get. But I thought it was enough to hold my attention. I can't think of any like negatives, honestly.
But
Do you think-
it was a good ending, though, for sure.
Yeah.
That catch.
Do you think we're going to see this feud continue, or do you think they're going to have to come up with some new challengers for the new day?
I think we're gonna get the sort of like standard multi-tag like match at Mania where they're gonna be like multiple teams.
Mhm. Well, they're going to have to go through Fastlane first, so we'll have to see where they go from there. But
it just feels like it's like they're always versing the Usos.
yeah, that or
that's how it's been lately.
or the Dudley Boys, or but we'll have to see. Next matchup, we're going to talk about the United States Championship match. Alberto Del Rio going up against Kalisto. And we talked about this in our predictions. I felt that this was going to be a match that Kalisto needed to elevate himself to say, hey, I can stand alone as a singles competitor, and I can be believable as a singles competitor. And
That's your word. You can't say.
yeah, I can't say it. And become the United States champion. Luckily for me, my prediction was correct. Kalisto is the new United States champion. However, the match itself, I felt was pretty sloppy. I don't know if they just had bad chemistry, bad communication. If Del Rio just wasn't really willing to work that well with Kalisto, but it seemed like Del Rio was getting a lot of spots wrong. Kalisto was getting a few spots wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, now that you said that, I think that was the match where they were getting stuff wrong.
And Del Rio was trying to take the mask off as well. Although that could just be part of the, part of the character.
He ripped the ponytail off.
No, that was on Raw against The Miz.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, my memory shot.
But Doug, what did you think about this matchup?
I was a little sloppy.
Yeah.
To me, if you're trying to get behind Kalisto, then you really take away his moment by having like playing hot potato with the belt before you get to the pay-per-view. I don't think it was worth whatever extra views they got on SmackDown by doing the title change on SmackDown and then changing it back on Raw just to do the title change again at the pay-per-view. It loses a lot of the impact.
Yeah.
Now I think if he would have won it like for the first time here, it would have been as impactful as you'd been as surprised as when it happened on Raw. So I don't get the.
What was that move that was very? What was that move that was that they did that was very strange? He did like a move that was connected.
He does like a double stomp into a code red, and they just like flubbed it.
Yeah, it was very, very strange. But I mean, he attempted it, and unfortunately, it didn't work in his favor. But I felt the match itself was okay. Like I said, a little bit sloppy here or there, but certainly could have gone better. And like Doug said, if you're gonna have his big shining moment, why have it be on Raw, then take it away on SmackDown, only to have it return, the next pay-per-view. It's just very strange. But somehow or another, Kalisto does end up getting the victory, defeating Alberto Del Rio to become the new United States champion once again. So two-time champion. So two-time champ. So congrats to him, I guess. And I hope this time they'll let him have a decent reign instead of a day or.
Oh no, there's going to be a rematch.
Yeah, I mean, there's more than likely going to be a rematch, but it'll probably be at Fastlane. One of the things that I was surprised about when we're jumping ahead a little bit to Raw is that Del Rio didn't really seem fazed by the loss on Raw. Did either of y'all pick up on that?
Not really. I don't even really recall.
Yeah, I didn't.
Like what he did on Raw off the top of my head.
He was just kind of there.
Yeah.
He didn't seem agitated or anything. He's like, oh, well, I'm here doing my League of Nations thing. But yeah, I'm here. So let's dive into the next matchup: Charlotte versus Becky Lynch for the Divas Championship. And I was entertained by this matchup. You expect certain things to happen, and it did. I was expecting Flair to be involved somehow, and just wasn't expecting the way that he did it. He proved that he was the kiss stealer, even threw his jacket on Becky Lynch. But from from a logic standpoint, I'm really surprised like the referee didn't throw him out for all of the stuff that he was involved in. But what do y'all think about the matchup?
I think the match was a bit of a letdown.
Really?
Yeah, I like Becky a lot. I'm not the biggest Charlotte fan. I think she's got a lot to work on to be who they see her as. And I think I think a lot of time Rick overshadows her, which seems like, I mean, obviously that seems like a really easy thing to do. He's like a legend and he's there every week. So, but I don't know. It seems like, is it helping her through the rough time or through the times where we're expecting her to grow and for him to hide some of her weaknesses by being there? Is the sort of overshadowing gonna hurt her more in the long run than if she had to like sort of sink or swim on her own now? I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess it just depends on if he's gonna always be there or not.
We'll see how that turns out.
Yeah, and it is one of those debates. It's like, is having Ric Flair helping or hurting her, hurting Charlotte right now? Because this is a prime time for her to develop her character, and it seems like she's being dependent on Rick to establish the heel qualities, but then he's overshadowing her. So it's like there's a fine line of how you can do it, and I'm not sure if they're hitting the mark just yet.
Yeah, of course he's going to overshadow her, and she's not a very good promo, and he's one of the all-time great promos, so of course he's going to overshadow her, but is that stunning her growth, like, instead of helping her through the rough patches? I don't know.
Yeah.
What was it, right after match, after she won, he, like, started walking up the ramp, doing his little thing. That cracked me up. I thought he was going to leave.
I feel, well, the thing about it is it's not just like a typical manager role where a manager is there to talk, maybe take some heat in the match and talk.
Yeah.
He sort of draws the focus, and that's probably the wrong way to go about it. He should be there to help hide her flaws, but not. I feel like, and maybe it's just because I like Flair so much, is that I feel like I'm watching Ric Flair, and then some matches happen around Ric Flair instead of Ric Flair like at some matches. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I felt like it was a bit of a letdown. I expect more out of Becky. I don't know. I don't think that Charlotte's all that she's been cracked up to be. So maybe we'll attribute some of that to her. But as far as the post match segment with Sasha coming out, I thought was maybe the most well executed thing on the whole show. I think she's been off of TV for a few weeks, and I felt like maybe that's helped her because we've sort of had some time to not think about her and not think about how they may have mishandled her originally. And so we just spend some time away not thinking about her, and then she just sort of comes back in a big way in a big moment. And I think it's almost enough to have forgotten about all the wrong they've done with her in the past. So.
Yeah, and the fact that she came out by herself, and not with Naomi or Tamina.
They did say on her little thing, like Team Bad underneath her name.
Well, yeah.
But she did come out alone.
Was that a surprise to you, or were you expecting this?
I was surprised because the word was she was hurt. So I was not expecting it.
Yeah, and that's something that we talked about last week, that I didn't know the severity of her injury, but I was expecting her to come back fairly soon.
Well, the thing about her is I guess the sort of like buzz about Sasha is that her body's kind of frail, and I'm not. That sounds like I'm being like sexist or something. I'm just saying that I guess
her critics say that.
Well, I'm not even saying it seems like a perfectly logical thing. It's just she is a smaller person, so maybe her body's not gonna hold up to some of the bumps that a lot of other people are. So the word is that once she goes through like one of her big matches, like her NXT special, it takes a lot out of her, and she needs a little like extra recovery time. So I don't know. I think she has back problems, like in general. So I don't know if that's true or just the word. But she always seems to take a few weeks off after one of her bigger matches, and like the NXT specials, she goes a little bit longer than a TV match, and it takes aggravates or her existing injury or something. So I don't know the truth to it. And I know there was a whole Meltzer thing where he said she was injured, and she said, "You don't know what you're talking about." And I guess we saw her this week, but that doesn't mean that she hasn't been hurting up until this point,
right?
And taking the time off. It's a he said, she said thing. But I don't know. I'm glad she's back. I think it's positive for the division, and I thought it was well executed part of the show.
Yeah, and it was a nice spot with her coming in, maintaining her heel status by, kicking Becky out of the ring, going, "Hey, you're in my spotlight. Get out of the way."
Right.
And then turning to Charlotte, "You're heel, I'm heel. Let's play it off like we're best
cool.
chums.
We're cool,
but
man.
then as soon as you turn your back on me, I'm going to strike."
See, I appreciate the effort and things like that because with the era of wrestling we're in, like they're not always going to be able to control people cheering for heels, and at least if she's going to be cheered as a popular wrestler, she at least keeps her character consistent
Mm-hmm.
so that she's not contradicting herself. It's just they choose to cheer for her, so she still is who she is. It's just,
Right. It's not about who she's attacking, it's why
Yeah.
she's attacking them. It's like, you're the Divas champion. I want to be the Divas champion. Simple as that. So, simple storytelling. That's all you need. So but yeah, so Charlotte retains, and then Sasha Banks returns to hopefully give us something really nice for WrestleMania. Final matchup for the Royal Rumble, the 30-man Royal Rumble, one versus all to determine the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and Roman Reigns was number one.
I don't know if it was the last two or maybe the two before that.
Mhm.
I don't remember, but there was like two in a row that was all right, not that great.
Yeah. I know the fans were particularly not happy with the results of the last 2 years, with Roman Reigns getting the win, and then the prior year with Batista.
That wasn't the reason for me, but I mean, I wanted someone else to win, but that wasn't a
Daniel
reason
Bryan.
for me to hate the Rumble.
Right.
But, this one didn't have too many surprises, but that's
Yeah.
okay. It was a fun little thing. I think it could have been a little better, but
Mhm.
it was all right.
Yeah. Okay.
But our main, is there anything else you want to say before the surprises?
Well, yeah. Before we talk about the surprises and the match itself, I'll feed off of what you were saying. I really enjoyed this Royal Rumble. I know that there weren't a whole lot of surprises or big returns or anything like that, but it was fun. It was exciting. The one thing that I didn't really like was the Roman Reigns storytelling, because if you're gonna have your champion be taken out of the match to where he has to go backstage for half an hour, that negates any of the crowd wanting to get behind him. Like, if he had gotten back into the match and just taken a beating.
What about he got?
I'm gonna cut you off and disagree. It's not that he had to leave the match. It's that if they're gonna do that, they have to stretcher him out. If he can walk to the
Right.
back, if he could physically walk, they should have said, "Hey, man, you got to get in the ring."
Yeah.
They should have. If they're gonna stretch, I understand the stretcher job is passe, but if you're gonna do it, you got to stretcher him out.
Right.
And
It's
he can come back later and be like, I got off of the stretcher. But if he can walk back, then he should have walked back into the ring.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. Like, I feel like it doesn't build sympathy for the fans. They're like, well, he was able to walk to the back. He chilled back there for half an hour. He missed any and all.
Caught a breather.
Yeah, he caught a breather, missed any
got some
interaction with Brock Lesnar and all of that, and then he just comes back at 29. Like, why? Who wants to back a guy like that? Like, that's like someone hiding underneath the ring for the majority of the match. Like,
It's not exactly. I wouldn't go that far. Because it was like nefarious means that put him out. Because
Right.
he was jumped illegally by multiple guys,
Mhm.
put through a table. But it's a fine line because that spot is done so often.
mhm.
If a guy can't go the hour, then maybe you don't put him in at number one.
Yeah.
And if you're just trying to build sympathy, you got to be real smart about how you do it.
But that's another thing, okay? Because you've got the Authority who hates Roman Reigns so much that they're going to send people into the ring to take him out. Why not? Okay,
Just throw him over the top.
yeah,
Because
just
there's no DQ.
yes.
I think that's the part where you have to give them
That's sort of a come on, guys, don't.
Well, I think that's the part where you have to give them suspension of disbelief because if we're going that route, then why didn't guys just bring chairs to the ring with them and why didn't so many
Why
other.
didn't the social outcast do something?
Yeah.
I mean, the Wyatt family did the spot where
Right.
they got it back in and took out Brock Lesnar. What's to stop the League of Nations or the social outcast?
Well, I think they used to play up the rule that like once a guy, like another guy can't get in until like the guy before him enters the ring. So the whole like hanging out on the outside thing
Mhm.
gets but they don't reference that a lot. So I don't know. It's real nebulous. It just sort of goes with like they just sort of go with whatever they need to go with.
Yeah, they do whatever they can and do whatever they want. I don't know, but let's talk about the big surprises, because there were a couple, and they were most enjoyable. That being the first one.
3.
Well, yeah. Well, the first one, the big surprise,
Were they most excellent?
most good. Yes. No, there were
I was doing a Bill and Ted thing because you said they were most enjoyable.
most enjoyable.
Made me think Bill and Ted.
Yeah.
Excellent.
There were a couple of things that took me off guard and surprised me. The first one being Rusev being eliminated right off the bat.
Not surprised.
Second man to enter, first to be out before even number 3 came out.
I thought we were gonna get about 5 of those with Roman looking real strong before
Yeah.
shenanigans happens.
Yeah, part of me was expecting that as too, I guess, but I was still kind of surprised that it was Rusev. Like I would expect it, like if it were the Miz or Stardust or someone like that, someone from the mid card, but not like a guy like Rusev, who we've talked about numerous times.
Well, he's misused so often that it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think they know what they have with that guy.
Nope, they don't. But the first big surprise was the fact that AJ Styles was entrant number 3.
We weren't for sure if he was going to be in the Rumble or be on Raw.
Yeah, there were
Which
rumors.
way he's going to debut at?
Yeah, there were rumors that he was there. They weren't sure if they were going to use him, and sure enough, they put him in there. Number 3. The crowd went nuts. The cameraman completely blew it, focusing solely on Roman Reigns until it was too late for the big reveal, because the crowd absolutely popped and no one knew why. No one who was watching, anyways, knew why. And it turned out that they had the Titantron and it said, "I am phenomenal."
I don't think that they
crowd went nuts.
quote unquote missed it. I think that they were trying to get the shot of Roman being like, I don't know this music. Who could this be? And they were trying to like. I don't think it was just like, let's look at Roman. It was like, let's catch Roman being like confused by what's going on. Like,
Yeah.
and maybe they didn't cut it soon enough. But I don't think it was like as simple as just like, let's just focus on Roman. I think it was, let's show Roman being confused by this music that no one knows who it is or whatever.
Yeah. But, I mean, how great was it to see AJ Styles?
I mean, I guess there was like this sort of debate of does a sizable portion of WWE's audience know who AJ Styles is? And I think it was answered pretty clearly that people know who he is.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, and you also have to take into account that they were in Orlando, not too far from the Impact Zone.
Yeah, but those 200 people that get comped weekly weren't there.
Yeah.
Those are paying fans in that building.
Yeah. AJ Styles, we got to see him perform. He had a really good showing. That's one of the things that I was concerned about, and we were talking, if you're going to put him in there, he's got to win it. But they did a very good, a very fine job. He stayed in the match for nearly half an hour, I believe, before he was finally eliminated by Kevin Owens. And he teased the Styles Clash so much. He's still teasing the Styles Clash.
Yeah, he still hasn't done it.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you think about his overall performance?
He didn't have a great performance, but it's hard to have a great performance in the Rumble just because of the nature of the match. But he was treated like and felt like a big deal, which so often they get that wrong. And I just think that everyone kind of sort of expected them to do something way wrong with him. And shockingly, they haven't so far.
Well, people are still in the back of their head. They're like that.
Well, yeah, look, we're only a week into this. We've got plenty of time for them to mess with AJ Styles.
Yeah.
But...
Good
they didn't do anything too stupid right away, so everyone's kind of like, yeah, hey man, he felt like a big deal, like he should have, and he got the reception of a star.
Mm-hmm.
And
I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but Ryback was very stiff on him. as far as working.
I missed it. I missed that part.
Ryback's kind of stiff in general.
Oh yeah, but it was kind of like, dude, take it easy. The guy just got here. He just walked into the
That's
door.
what I was saying the whole match. Like, whoa. AJ, don't take it crazy bumps. Don't hurt him. We need him for the long haul.
I mean, I
Fragile.
don't think that's not like a criticism to AJ. I don't think anyone had a great Rumble performance this year.
Mm-hmm.
Partly because that's just hard in general, unless you are the focus of the story they're telling. And this year it was really just
There wasn't really a big standout person, I guess.
right.
It was more storytelling with Roman Reigns.
There is, I mean, and I don't know. It's just
I think I was just pumped about the whole pay-per-view in general, and like a few days before, I was just pumped in general for two things, because WWE signed Austin Aries, and then I knew that AJ was coming. I just didn't know when. And then when he was there, it just made me happy.
Yeah, and that was a really nice surprise hearing about Austin Aries this past Friday. Was at the NXT tapings as he was making his way down to the entrance, got attacked by Baron Corbin, so immediately going to be hot shot into a feud with him. So looking up for the NXT roster.
I think he was AJ clearly wasn't going to win.
Yeah.
I thought like the Rumble itself, the Rumble match was booked pretty, with the exception of some of the stuff involving Roman, was booked pretty geniusly. I think if you were going to have someone eliminate Styles, Owens was the perfect guy to do it, because because no matter what reaction he got, you could have ran with, because if it was just from the perspective of, well, another quote unquote like fan favorite, even though he's not a baby face, an internet guy, a fan favorite, whatever you want to say, eliminated him. So it's a little less like a swipe at some of these people, some of the fans, than if someone else would have eliminated him. Even if they had turned on Owens, he's the kind of guy who will run with that and like work. He's a heel anyway, so he should be booed. But,
Yeah.
Well, I think did people boo Owens or not that
They
much?
did.
I think they booed that
him.
he got. I think they booed the fact that AJ got eliminated.
Yeah. But it didn't turn the crowd completely for the remainder of
I
the
don't
match.
think no one would turn on.
Even if they had, that would have been fine, because he's the kind of guy who sort of basks in that kind of reaction.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, he's a heel. Why should he? You know.
And the fact that they had a great sense of karma a little bit later on with the introduction of Sami Zayn into the Rumble. So it's like, oh, he got his comeuppance right away by being taken out by the person that he took out.
Yeah, that's what I mean by sort of like a chain of eliminations that were sort of brilliantly booked with Zayn. Although I was bummed to see Zayn not on Raw. So
Yeah. Kind of just a one and done kind of thing. Hey, here I am.
I don't think it's one and done. I don't know if they're planning on wrapping up in NXT before or what.
Probably.
It's got that big title match coming up in a
Yeah.
bit.
Like I said, not too many big return or surprises. I mean, Goldust was in there, and that was kind of cool.
I think Sammy counts as a surprise because he's not a regular roster member.
Yeah.
And like your surprises were AJ Styles and Sami Zayn. That's pretty good surprises.
Yeah. And of course, the return of Triple H, which a lot of people saw coming. One of the funniest moments for the Royal Rumble, and this one had quite a bit of laughs for me. R-Truth coming out, rushing to the ring, grabbing the ladder, climbing up to the top of the ladder. Where's the briefcase? I mean, it was pretty comical.
I was so afraid that they were gonna push him off like off the top to the outside, like push the ladder over to the outside where he would fall off. I was like, oh, that's
dangerous spot.
It's a nasty bump.
The other funny moment that I enjoyed was the Triple H crotch chop to Roman Reigns whenever he eliminated him, because he did it so much so fast, and then he just falls down. He's like, oh yeah, I need to be selling.
I'll tell you
I'm tired.
what. People in the crowd were hot for Triple H and Ambrose.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or it seemed like.
And it was a nice surprise seeing Reigns get eliminated and it come down to someone else.
Well, I think that's a part of what plays into the smart booking because, yes, if Triple H is going to win, then Roman has to be eliminated. And yes, if you're going to tell the Roman story even remotely right, he's got to be like to the end. So Triple H is going to have to eliminate him. But I think it was a small part, like a contingency plan, not a contingency plan, but a small part was built in that if they were going to cheer Triple H for eliminating Roman, then he still would have to get through Ambrose, and that would be enough for him to actually get a heel reaction.
Yeah. So, and it was really good. I enjoyed this Royal Rumble. I know Bret Hart said that he wasn't impressed with it at all. He was like, "This is boring. I didn't enjoy this at all," which is kind of shocking. I mean, I really enjoyed the Rumble.
4 out of 10.
Yeah.
I was about to say, if that's true, we have different tastes.
Yes, I suppose we do. So, but Triple H ends up becoming the winner of the 30-man Royal Rumble and the new WWE World Heavyweight Championship, or new WWE Champion.
What's that picture online? People Photoshop Triple H with Triple H.
Yes.
It's like, oh,
This guy's going to go far.
he's a Triple H guy.
That's right. So that's pretty much going to do it for the Royal Rumble. So with that being said, let's dive on into Raw.
Dive into the pool.
Dive into the pool. Well, I guess before we do that,
With what being said.
yeah. Before we dive into Raw, we should give an update on the official scoreboard that we are now gonna do, or at least try to do, for
Who?
the scoreboard for us.
What?
Who?
What? Who?
Where are you going with this?
Who?
Who?
Me, sucker.
Okay. So we discussed it last week, and we're actually going to go through with it now, or at least try to. We're going to try and keep a tally of who has the most correct WWE pay-per-view predictions for the year of 2016. And Mr. Abear over here.
Look, I didn't mean like make a whole annoying segment about talking about giving the fucking score every month. I'm just talking about who wins
Yearly.
the bid.
No, we gotta have the fans keep track. They need to
Sounds like a bunch of bullshit.
pick a horse and see if it
Bullshit.
crosses the finish line first. Yes, I'm horsing ourselves out. So yeah, currently Mr. Abear in the lead.
Woot woot.
6 correct.
Six.
You actually got all the
He said woot woot.
yeah,
so
you got all the
deducting
matches
a
correct.
Point for that for sure.
yeah, congratulations on that. I am currently in second place with 5, and Doug bringing up the rear with 4. So we'll have to see how the year plays out as we get closer to next.
You know one thing I'm looking forward to?
Fastlane.
Well, not really. But no, well, actually not match-wise, but Mania, just because I like the everyone to get together, some other friends, and we put money down and whole pot. Richard's won it 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
It's gonna have to change.
Yes, it will have to change.
But
We're
no,
gonna have
that's
to stop
a
that.
fun in general.
Yeah, it is quite enjoyable. I do like our get-togethers, and that's one of the things that makes
They're
it.
all right.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Y'all split a pot one year, I think,
We
right?
did. I want to say it was 26
And
when they were in
there's-
Arizona. I think so.
And there's one year your mom beat me.
Yeah, that was either 27 or 28, somewhere around there. So a lot of fun. Well, maybe we'll do a video on that for the YouTube of how you and your friends can get together and have a good WrestleMania party.
Yeah, send us money.
Send us money too. Yeah.
The 2-point deduction for the woo woo and that stupid dance he did.
I do what I want to do.
That has nothing to do with pay-per-view predictions.
It offends me so much.
Hey,
So
take
there's
it off
a-
my shoes.
There's a 2-point deduction. You're not gonna come out here with no fucking points, man.
-10.
You want to start with -10 points?
No.
Okay. So, yeah, maybe at the end of the year we'll have a trophy of some kind, some award for whoever gets the most picks. So for our listeners out there, pick your person and let's see how we do.
Why would they care? How would they be invested? They don't get anything.
Well, it's something. It's fun interaction.
How?
It's forming teams and trash talking. Like, my guy's smarter than your guy.
I'm not gonna like take it into account anyone who
No, you don't have to.
supports me's opinion.
It's our decision in the end, but it's a good chance for our listeners to interact with us and be like, Doug, what were you doing thinking that Del Rio was going to retain? And, oh, Tyler, what were you thinking going with that choice? And, oh, Daniel, good pick. I don't know. Screw it. Whatever.
Somebody talks like that to fucking me.
So let's dive on into Raw. The, what?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
We kick things off with Vince and Stephanie talking about how they have broken Roman Reigns and you got to kick him while he's down and all that. I don't know. To be honest, I stopped paying attention to what they were saying.
My son-in-law
is the champion, and Stephanie introduces him, the game, Cerebral Assassin, 14-time champion, Triple H, and he comes out and is like, I didn't have to get this belt, but I wanted it, so I took it, and it's mine now.
Roman Reigns is disrespectful.
Yeah, he's disrespectful to my religion, because what I do is inside this ring.
It's my church.
It's my church. It's my religion, and REM is losing my religion. So, I don't know, typical... promo to kick off Raw. Any thoughts from it? No,
it's just the standard McMahon shtick.
Yeah. So, opening contest, we got to see Kevin Owens go up against Dolph Ziggler, and Owens was definitely showing his worst for wears after the brutal matchup between he and Dean Ambrose, and then the Royal Rumble match itself. It was an entertaining matchup. It went a good distance, and the crowd was into it. Owens got the win. Any thoughts about the matchup itself?
Not really. I guess we should say that the overarching theme of the night was they were going to be watching all the matches and selecting someone or two people to wrestle at Fastlane, and then the winner of that would challenge Triple H at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So that was the quota, I guess, incentive for all the matches.
Because any other time, their number one contenders are picked at random, or whoever just wants a title shot.
Well, that's still kind of how they did it this time.
Yeah. So, we hate you so much, Roman Reigns. We're going to put you in a title match. Gotta love the logic. But yeah, Kevin Owens does end up getting the victory. After that, we got to see the Social Outcast come out and cut a little promo. Heath Slater trash-talking Flo Rida, saying, hey, man, you and me have a history, and you disrespected me last time. That ain't going to happen again because we're challenging you to a rap battle. And Bo Dallas is going to lead the charge. And
Bo Rida,
that's right.
Borda.
And, yeah. So Bo Dallas takes the reins. His rap skills are adequate, I guess. I mean, he got through it, but...
Well, he said his lines well, but they were clearly going for dorky white guy.
Yes.
Can't rap, and he delivered that. So.
He did deliver, and then it was Flo Rida's turn, and he dropped the ball.
Yeah, he was just like, meh. See, I think this is sort of Vince or WWE's in general's lack of cultural awareness, that they're like, Flo Rida is a rapper, he could just do this. Flo Rida is not like a battle MC or like a freestyle type guy. He's like a pop rapper. You know? There's a difference. So they clearly just thought oh, well, rap is rap, and this guy can go in there and drop some bars on this other guy or something. And I don't know if it was written for him or if he had time to write it himself or he just did it off the dome, but
it was bad.
Any which way, it wasn't that good. So
he was clearly not the winner.
I think for Facebook on WWE, they put a poll who won in that, and everyone picked Bo.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah,
they really like Flo Rida. Every time they're in fucking Florida, he's
oh
there.
My gosh.
Oh yeah.
There's at least 2 or 3 times they picked his theme for a pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm. Several times. They even had him perform during WrestleMania. All that jazz and madness.
It's Florida.
But yeah. WNS did put out a poll as to who won the rap battle, Flo Rida or Bo Dallas or Bo Ryder. 90% to 10 in favor of Bo Rida.
Do you think he freestyled, or do you think that he had time to write it, or do you think they were written for him?
Man, if it was written, that person needs to be shot and then fired.
If he
out
wrote
of the
it
cannon
himself,
and then fired
or
from his
someone
job.
in his camp,
Yeah,
then that's ridiculous.
yeah, but I mean that had to have come off. It had to have come off the dome because it was so like misplaced.
Look, freestyling is not fucking easy.
It is not.
It's very fucking difficult. But they should have had the awareness to know not to do it then, because he's not a battle rapper. He's not like a freestyle guy.
Yeah,
he's like we wrote a pop rap and that's what we're gonna get recorded.
It felt like he was stretching for rhymes.
Yeah.
Like 'cause I was listening to like a lyric and then another lyric and that didn't rhyme and then he'd do a third lyric that rhymed with the second lyric and I'm like that sounds off. It sounds so bad.
Yep.
But
I saw like stupid. You ever fall into one of those YouTube holes of like I've seen like I've been like on a binge of watching like an hour's worth of like high school kids like battle rap outside of a like fucking gym or something that were better than that.
Yeah.
Know?
So man, that was a flop, but Bo Dallas ended up looking like a star because of it. So
I wouldn't go that far. I just think he didn't.
He looked much better than Flo Rida.
He didn't look that bad in comparison.
Yeah.
He sort of was supposed to be bad though.
Right. I was cracking up at all the other members of the Social Outcast like flipping out over his words.
Whoever was like taking bumps and kicking their feet, like they sort of put it over the top.
I think that was Axel. It was Axel or Slater.
I think it was Axel and Rose that were like really getting into it. And yeah.
Pretty comical stuff at least. But that ended up leading to a tag match between Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas going up against the Dudley Boys. Nothing really to add from this matchup. The Dudley Boys ended up getting the win.
You think we're getting a regular tag team out of these guys? Out of Axel and Rose? Dallas and Rose. Axel. God. Dallas and Axel.
We should see Axel and Rose. It would be Axel Rose.
Right.
They come out to Guns N' Roses or something like that.
Or like a cheap knockoff.
Yes.
I don't know. What the fuck is Axl Rose doing lately? They could probably buy it.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're kind of in this tryout stage where they're trying to find themselves. It's like,
Bo had
okay.
new tights.
Yeah, he did. And it had the big red Outcast stamp on it across the center, and it's very strange. So I think they're kind of trying to find themselves right now. And once they do, they'll have a solid tag team or something. But we'll have to see where it goes. But after that, we got to see AJ Styles in his debut match on Raw, going up against Chris Jericho. So a good veteran against the young rookie, right?
Well, that's how Jericho said it.
Is AJ Styles
Like 38.
eligible for Rookie of the Year?
Well, he's not. He's clearly not a rookie.
I know.
But I mean,
He's a WWE rookie.
sure.
I don't know. I was not into this match.
Well, it was. They were clearly like either Jericho is like continuing. I'll just say AJ Styles has been one of the best wrestlers in the world for the past 2 years. Like period. Like if I don't know if they were just holding stuff back because they know they're going to have a match later and that's where they're going to pull out the stops and you don't want to give it all away for free on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Or if Jericho's just been in the fucking shitty Jericho run that he's been in. But, I mean, it was solid enough, but it never got out of second gear.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that was intentional or not. It's probably intentional because the finish was a roll-up and that was pretty an indecisive finish.
Yeah.
Like, AJ shouldn't lose that match, and so they did the right thing in putting him over. But you don't want to put him over so decisively over Jericho right then off a free TV match.
Lucky break, kid.
Wasn't there? Remember that move where you call it, where AJ was on his back and he had Jericho and they went up
into a bridge.
Yeah, I swear they went 1, 2, and it looked like he was about to hit 3. Like he was on the ground. He should have hit 3. The ref and AJ got up. That's what it seemed like to me. I don't know if y'all noticed that.
Yeah, like the ref stopped himself.
Yeah, he
from
stopped
hitting 3.
himself.
I don't. I mean, I know what the sequence you're talking about, but I don't remember about the count.
Yeah. I don't know if maybe Jericho is just a bad component in this matchup. Like, I feel like he's slowed down a lot. Like, I mean, the guy's 45 years old.
Yeah.
So I can't expect him to be running, a sprint marathon for, a 15-minute match. But I didn't feel the chemistry with those two. Like, I feel Styles would have had a much better matchup with a guy like Neville or, someone, I don't know. It was a strange pairing for me. Like, I know a lot of the crowd was hoping for a Jericho Styles match, but from what I saw, I'm okay with not seeing any more.
I think there was some roughness to it, and it may be a lack of chemistry, but I assure you that things were held back on purpose. Like,
Yeah.
he didn't. They still haven't even let him hit the Clash. He's been.
Yeah.
It'll be a big deal when he does eventually, but.
Mania moment.
Because that wasn't you said like during the Rumble, like didn't you want to see or that's the feud that's going to happen? But didn't you say you wanted to see it or no? Or you were just stating it in general?
No, it just felt like that was the direction they were going to go. Honestly, like I've been so turned off Jericho that I would rather them keep AJ away from Jericho.
I agree with that. I would be happy with a Owens Styles feud.
See, I'd rather get the Zayn Owens thing, but maybe that's better. Better after we see some main roster build between the guys.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel. Like I have love for Jericho from the past, but now I'm like, I don't know anymore. But
Kinda
I guess
like,
it
is
does
he-
make sense right now because everyone else has their thing, and they still want to make AJ, they're gonna pump the heck out of him and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
hey, who else we got? Oh, we got Jericho. This, he's still top guy. So I understand that.
The reason I think that popped into my head and why I still think it's a possible option for a Mania is they're looking for like box office draw type matches for Mania still because they have so many guys out, and they, whether you care or not, they still see Jericho as that kind of a guy.
Mm-hmm.
Despite his really, in my opinion, really poor performance as of late, but he's still got the value that they are looking to use to move a. And if you're gonna do a Jericho match, there's not really a match that sticks out that you would put him in other than something maybe like with AJ.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we'll get to see.
I could see them doing Owens too, though, because once that interaction happened, I could see them going that way.
So if they're doing Y2J and AJ at Mania, so that's going to be the match that they're going to all go out and do their thing.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yep.
I just don't know. I don't know. I'm hesitant. I'm reserved on it because, like you guys are saying, I'm a big fan of Jericho. I always have been a big fan of Jericho's, but now it's more like, okay, man, I think it might be time to fade off into the sunset or something.
I would and could tolerate him losing a step in the ring a lot more if his character wasn't so annoying.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the contributing factors. It's sort of like, dude, you're a 45-year-old man spouting out stuff you were saying when you were 20. It's like the 45-year-old college frat boy who never grew up.
Yeah.
So it's like, come on.
We've seen a lot of that even with The Rock, which we'll get to a little bit. They're stuck in, their sense of humor is stuck in 1998 or something.
Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, we'll dive into that in a little bit. But AJ Styles does end up getting the victory and offering a gentleman's handshake after the matchup, which Jericho accepted. After that, we got to see Sasha Banks go up against Becky Lynch. This matchup ended in a disqualification or no contest after Charlotte came out and attacked Sasha Banks and
We're going to get a triple threat at Fastlane? No, not a triple threat. Number one contenders, you think?
I don't know where they're going to go with this. Okay, they're obviously going to have some sort of a triangle match, but will it...
A three-way.
Oh, yeah. Will we see Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch to determine the number one contender against Charlotte, or will we see one of these two ladies go up against Charlotte at Fastlane, and then that causes something to happen to where they face one another at Mania.
I think we'll see Becky come back and ruin the match because she's pissed over like what's been going on between her and Charlotte and what happened between her and Sasha.
Yeah.
Which will give us a 3-way at Mania.
There you go. That's good booking.
3-way live on television.
You got to pay for it though.
Right, The Rock, settle down.
Yeah, chill it. So after that, we got to see a very odd and bizarre backstage segment with Goldust approaching R-Truth, saying he's looking for a partner. R-Truth saying, "Hey man, hate to break it to you, I'm married. I don't swing that way." And Goldust was like, "No, I'm in a tag partner." So, anything? I mean, what were you guys' thoughts about this segment? Because I thought it was very strange.
Yeah, it was. I don't know what's gonna come of it.
Well, I was thinking like, why are they putting all these makeshift teams together or teasing that they are, but they don't do a lot with teams they already have? Because we just saw that Axel and Bo Dallas team, and it's like, oh, they're gonna put Truth and Goldust together. I was like, why are they making all these teams?
We're gonna have territory wars coming up. It's gonna be the Social Outcast, the Wyatt family, and then other people. League of Nations.
I don't see it.
They're building their groups. Then the Bullet Club's gonna come in. I don't know. We'll see. But after that, we got to see a quick matchup between Bray Wyatt and Kane. Bray Wyatt gets the victory, and the Wyatt family attacks. Follow the buzzards, all that good stuff. Then they were teasing a big surprise all day long. Big return to the WWE. Turns out it's The Miz. Haha, you were all fooled. And I've only been gone 3 weeks, but it's still a nice surprise. And then The Rock shows up, and his attitude was very odd. And I know, Tyler, you pointed that out to me when we were watching it. It was like
it was cheesy, but it was a different cheesy.
Yeah, a different kind of cheese. Went up and talked to the Big Show and told him, "Hey, man, remember the Royal Rumble where I threw you out and won, and then I got a movie deal? Oh, that could have been yours." And
he could have been the Scorpion King.
He could have been the Scorpion King. You should have been the Scorpion King. Oh, well. And, like, made Big Show cry. Like, I kind of chuckled at that because Big Show was acting so heartbroken. It's like, yeah, I could have been the one making all these millions of dollars, and you could have been the one stuck here. You know, like he was kind of realizing, what could have been. So I at least chuckled at that. The Rock and Lana interaction I felt was just downright creepy.
Well, here's the thing about that.
They did it.
Like, bitter old fucking Vince McMahon is so, like, hung up on the fact that he couldn't break them up, or the fact that he, like, that they went public with their relationship, like ruining his, quote unquote, ruining his storyline, that he is trying to break this poor woman by keep putting her in these positions where, like, the Dolph stuff and, like, the, like, now the Rock stuff, where he's basically saying she's, like, fucking all these dudes or whatever. And she's just got to, like, sit there and put up with him calling, like, making her, like, look like a slut on TV or whatever.
Yeah.
And
it doesn't make him look very good because isn't he married with a child now, or at least engaged? Yeah.
I think he's engaged or something, like,
with a child now.
It's just so sad that, like, that Vince is, like, so, like, hung up on, like, this stupid thing that he, like, go through all the effort to, like, try to break this woman or whatever. It's just weird, man.
I must break you.
It's just, I don't know.
If she cries, she cries.
Yeah, Rusev, he came up, but he was staring at Lana the whole time. He wasn't looking at The Rock.
Yeah. Then he came out, cut his promo. Hey, we're going off the cuff, off the script a little bit. Hey, check out these wrestling fans who were moved.
I want to clarify that I said slut, like in terms of, like, how Vince is, like, thinking about the
portraying
situation.
her.
Yeah, like, I'm not.
That you don't think that she is, in
well,
fact.
I don't think there's anything wrong with having all the sex you want to have. I don't think that. I'm not, like, a slut shaming. I'm just saying. I'm saying sluts. Like, through the lens of Vince. But,
right.
Sorry, go ahead.
So he said, "Hey, we're going off the script. Check out these fans who were moved somewhere as because the fans were chanting Randy Savage." And oh, let's talk about WrestleMania. No, let's not talk about WrestleMania because we're here in Miami. And then he was interrupted by the New Day.
Well, like overall, I thought The Rock was completely and utterly outshined by the New Day. I thought he's so stuck in the past with his humor, and they were so on the ball. And it's maybe a little bit unfair because they're like a 3-man group and they can play off of each other and keep it high.
But they do it so well with one another. That's the thing.
But he's just so like unwilling to change.
Llama
his shit.
penis.
Yeah,
that'll get people
so
talking.
dumb. It's so dumb.
There was some stuff that the New Day said that I thought was pretty. I can't remember it though.
Pipe down, people.
Good.
Pipe down, sign guy.
I thought they were. See, I thought the Francesca shit was pretty weak, and I thought like, all right, these guys are overexposed. They have to do this too often. They can't keep coming up with good material. It's just like too much for anybody, you know. But this week, I thought they were like on fire, like on point the whole time. I thought they were hilarious, and I thought Rock looked actively bad like next to them, and I thought it was not even close. I was almost a little embarrassed for the guy, and I should never have to, I should never feel embarrassed for The Rock. The Rock has like everything that I don't and will never have. But, so he doesn't
that
need
$1 million smile.
He doesn't need anyone to feel bad for him. I'm just saying he clearly looks like he's lost his step. Well, I will say I think it's just unwillingness to like change with the times or to like sort of come up with new material because he was still he clearly almost lost the crowd when they started like Macho Man, and he was quick enough on his feet. And he like ad-libbed enough to go out and like get the crowd back on track. So he's clearly he's as charismatic as he's ever been. It's just
he knows how to at least read a crowd.
Yeah, he can work with a crowd and like make them follow him. But it's just the material. It's the same old shit. Like it's not 1998 anymore, man. And it hasn't been for 20 fucking years. Like
there was a nice spot that he did whenever he was making his entrance, and he took that girl's cell phone and was, we'll take a picture.
That's
like
cool.
that was a nice little touch. Yeah. But yeah, well, it's also one of those things is that it's the nostalgia factor. So people are gonna, if Stone Cold were to walk through the curtain, they're not gonna expect something new from him. They're expecting the old. That's the bottom line. What give me a beer and all that stuff.
But badass doesn't age. Like I'm gonna fuck you. I'm gonna kick your ass. Doesn't age. But your potty humor from 20 years ago ages. There's a difference. You know what I mean? There's no there's no staleness on the I'm gonna shoot you the finger and
all the potty humor is Jericho, Rock, DX.
Yeah, that stuff has aged and it hasn't aged well.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, to mirror off what you said, I thought the New Day definitely held their own and did a phenomenal job.
They didn't hold their own; they carried the segment.
Well, they didn't let The Rock bury them.
They sure didn't let him drag them down.
So, just the simple interactions they have with one another and the interactions they have with the crowd. It's just they are so on fire with what they're doing.
I'm not saying they don't ever miss. They definitely miss last week.
And they do, but. I mean, my God, just the smallest things. I was cracking up laughing when they were the crowd was starting to chant and Big E's silence sign guy, deliberately pointing out one particular person. You right there, quiet, settle down, sign guy. It was just they have gelled so well as a group, and I'm so glad that it worked out for them. And I can't say enough positive things about them. And I feel bad that I didn't pick them to win at the Royal Rumble now because I didn't have enough positivity in my life.
POP, hold it down.
That's right.
Hey, to go back just a second to what you were saying about The Rock and the nostalgia thing, The Rock can do the greatest hits.
Right.
He can know your role, shut your mouth. He can smell what The Rock is cooking. He can do all that shit and still have the crowd. It's the llama penis and the blah. All that corny shit is not aged well. That is what he's got to change. He can do his catchphrases.
Yeah.
And people will be just as excited to hear
it doesn't matter what you're
he can do all that shit. He just can't do the stupid potty humor that's
Can you say penis on
and he said bitches and he said ass and all kinds of stuff.
Can you say
llama penis? You can't say penis. You can't say penis. Don't say penis. You can't say penis on live air. What's wrong with you?
He looked out of touch with what's popular, or he looked out of touch with what's going on.
Again, it's the 45-year-old college frat boy.
Yeah.
Still playing it.
I say that as a man child myself, but
well, there's certain things that you personally have evolved to where it's like what you might have said when you were 18 or 19 probably isn't as funny to you now.
On it, at least.
Yeah, at least.
I like
switch it up a bit.
I like when my favorite part of the whole thing was when he was bagging on Byron like everyone does, and he's like that, and when Xavier's like, "That's Byron Saxton. Watch the product."
Yeah.
I like how they were the dudes who like stick up for Saxton because everyone bags on him.
I like them because they'll come out and acknowledge stuff like that.
Yeah.
They're like, "Hey, man, you guys are like the whole confronting the Usos and the Lucha Dragons. Like, you guys are phenomenal athletes. We just happen to win. No hard feelings. You guys are great." Or like whenever Xavier's on commentary and he's like, "That's Xavier. Or that's Callisto, not Sin Cara. Get your guys right." And like they're at least like, come on, at least act like you're paying attention to what's going on. And I do worry about them because they're so overexposed that they can't keep it up at this rate. I just thought they happened to like do exceptionally well this week. And, right.
Like, they totally killed and carried this.
Well, they're gonna be.
They're gonna drop the ball here and there.
Yeah.
But as long as they keep doing the.
See last week. Yeah.
Yeah. So but we'll see. But it did end up leading into a brawl as the Usos came down to attack the New Day, and people's elbow and rock bottom and all that good stuff and super kicks, and so.
Another thing about the Rock is he looked physically bad. Like his rock bottom looked sloppy.
Yeah.
People's elbow looked sloppy. It just looked bad all the way around.
Well, you could also contribute it to him probably being really tired.
Sure.
Because like even during his promo, when he was walking towards the ring, I felt like, dude, what are you even doing here? Go to bed. Like he was like, I got up at 3:45, bumping and grinding and doing all that stuff, and then clanging and banging. Thank you.
Bumping and grinding.
Yeah, that's right. With Lana. So clanging and banging. Then I flew over here to film the second season of Ballers, and then I went over here to start filming my movie, and then they said, "Hey, Rock, we need you over here in Miami." And so I'm like, all right, I'll be there. Shit. Like maybe he was just tired.
Sure, maybe he was tired.
Like, dude, get some rest. If you got up at 3:45 in the morning,
definitely look. He's like he cycled off because he didn't look as big. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Because last time we saw him, he looked.
It was jacked.
Fucking jacked.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, anyways, Usos brawled and stood tall with The Rock, and that was about it. After that, we got to see some tag match players. Natalya teaming up with Paige to go up against Brie Bella and Alicia Fox. And I guess since we are talking about... God, why are you not doing that to me? Singing the theme. While we are talking about the Bellas, it should be announced that Nikki... was it today or tomorrow? Tomorrow being Wednesday, where she's having neck surgery. I want to say it's today. Where it could be potentially career-threatening, that she might not be able to wrestle anymore. I just want to get your guys' thoughts on that. If she is unable to return.
I mean, if it's a shoot, then it's sad that anyone would have to deal with like a career-ending injury.
Mm-hmm.
If it's just like an obstacle for her to overcome on Total Divas, then it's whatever,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's for her to return at the Royal Rumble next year, and oh my gosh, she's a surprise entrant.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. But anyways, Natalya and Paige going up against Brie Bella and Alicia Fox. Anything to really take away from the matchup? It was really short.
Nope.
And Natalya and Paige end up getting the victory. After that,
they talked about how Paige doesn't like Alicia Fox.
Oh no.
Watch Total Divas.
Such drama. I don't know. I feel like after the Rock segment, the show kind of just died. Like, did you get that feeling?
It was a really long segment, too.
It was long, and then after that, everything else, it just felt like it was dragging so much.
Yeah.
Like, I was tired. Tyler was tired. Like, we were just like, is this show over yet? Like, how long is it? I'm like, oh my God, we still have 15 minutes to go or whatever. Or however long it was. But after that, it just drags so much. After that, we got to see Kalisto going up against The Miz, with Kalisto getting the victory, non-title match. Anything to take away from that? No.
Miz is tired of people interrupting him.
That's right. And he was interrupted. So it's a joke on him. After that, final matchup, Roman Reigns teaming up with Dean Ambrose to go up against Sheamus and Rusev. Roman and Dean end up getting the victory. Anything from this matchup?
Not really. I was looking at your shoes. I thought those were the shoes I just bought for work, like in the black.
New Balance.
But I don't think they're the same ones. They're similar, though.
Nice. Cool. After the matchup, the Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose put Rusev through a table, and Stephanie was like, hey, we've been watching, and we're going to put you two in a match against Brock Lesnar, a triple threat match. Winner becomes #1 contender. So Brock Lesnar did nothing to deserve this title match, although
Paul Heyman cut a deal.
Yeah, he probably did. At least they'll say that for storyline purposes. They hate Roman Reigns so much, and they love just torturing him. So we're gonna put, what better way to torture a guy than to reward him by putting him in a #1 contenders match?
If I were to reach to try to pull some logic out of this, I would think the punishment would be the two good friends having to fight each other.
Yeah.
Where the title, and then also having to overcome. Brock is just a physically imposing dude who's there in addition. So it's kind of like, you're good buddies. You're going to team up and put Rusev together. Well, let's see if your friendship survives this or whatever.
Yeah.
If I was going to stretch and try to give you some logic.
I know what's going to happen. I know the Wyatts are going to get involved when they do that match at Fastlane. But I still think that's kind of a fresh match just to have Ambrose in it.
Yeah.
With Lesnar and Reigns. So we'll see how that turns out.
Yeah, and the thing that worries me is that if Lesnar is taken out of the equation, one, you don't want to have Lesnar be pinned in this match, and two,
he won't be.
Yeah, and two, you're gonna have to have Roman pin his best friend. So, I don't know. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
Well, I think that's what the authorities are going for.
Yeah.
Like maybe they didn't do a good job of conveying that, but
Yeah.
I think that's the point.
I don't like it. We'll have to see. So,
the part I don't like about it is that we know that Lesnar will get a high profile Mania match, and we know that Roman's probably going to main event against Triple H. But what does that leave for Ambrose today?
Nothing
that important.
He's gonna fight Sheamus or Rusev.
Ooh, I'd rather him fight Rusev.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I don't know. Maybe Rusev will try and go after the Intercontinental title. But anyway, so that's going to do it for Raw. Time to go into the Q&A portion of the show. Your questions are answered. Well, I guess before we do that, we already talked about Lucha Underground and Total Divas. So, yeah, moving into the Q&A portion of the show, your questions are answers. First question comes to us from Micah saying, Happy New Year's, guys. I'm a little late to the party as well as on the responses to the show. My bad. I listen to each and every show and either A, don't have anything good or entertaining to say, or B, no questions. I'm sure Tyler is really looking forward to playing Samoa Joe on 2K16.
Aw, yeah, today.
Tyler's a mark.
For that, yes.
I got some funny glitch videos from my game if you guys are still doing that. Absolutely we are. You can send them to podcastcrew@yahoo.com. So make sure you get on that, and we'll get and that goes for anyone. If y'all have any 2K16 glitches or bloopers or anything like that.
I realized there's for WWE and some other games, I record a clip, but I need to go back and edit the videos.
Shorten it, trim it down a little bit.
I forgot to do that, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so if you come across any glitches, bloopers, fails, anything like that, something that you think is funny that you would be willing to submit to us, make sure to take the video clip and email it to us, podcastcrew@yahoo.com, or provide a link, upload it to YouTube and send us the link so that we can pull it from there as well. So, podcastcrew@yahoo.com. Looking forward to it. Let's see. Where was he? Oh yeah, and glad that Doug is on the show a bit more. Was strange not having him on the show, dropping references that you both don't understand. True. While you guys are reading this, you've already watched the Royal Rumble. So my question for the group is, with all these factions forming or on the horizon, could you take 4 WWE wrestlers that are not already part of a stable and put them in a stable with a group name?
Probably not. I gotta come up with 4. I definitely won't be able to come up with a name off the top of my head.
Okay. Let's see. You can put Goldust and Truth, because they were already kind of teasing that. And then Darren Young and Damian Sandow.
What's your team name?
Don't have one. They'll come up with something.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Sami Zayn,
Sami Zayn,
Cesaro,
nice.
Mark Henry,
Mm-hmm.
and Neville. Those are 4 guys I could think of that aren't in stable.
Nice.
And I got no name.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's all right.
They're just dudes I like.
Team Doug.
Dudes I like.
All right. Tyler?
Blake and Murphy.
Oh, Lord. Why?
And the Ascension. And
Okay.
it's called Meh.
Team Meh.
Sorry, that's horrible.
Nope, that's your team.
Okay.
So congratulations.
Oh, wait. I want to...
You want to change it up?
I'm swapping Neville
Mhm.
for Sasha.
All right.
Sami Zayn,
Cesaro,
Cesaro,
Mark Henry,
Mark Henry, and
and
Sasha
Sasha.
Banks.
All right.
I would watch that.
Team Attitude.
Nope.
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 Not our name.
All right. Okay. Well, next question we have is from Brian, saying definitely the best Royal Rumble in years. One thing that people shouldn't forget is that Rusev is the new TV champion. And I don't know if you guys saw the picture that I sent y'all.
Yeah, I did.
Where he took the monitor and
I
has
was
claimed to
wondering
be.
why he took that monitor.
He did it on Raw as well. After the show, like whenever they went off the air,
Yeah.
there was a video that surfaced of him after he got up from being driven through the table. He picked up the monitor and walked to the backstage again. So being consistent, I like it. He is your new television champion.
This is like when Booker T's promotion had a mouse for the internet champion.
Yeah.
What?
No.
Mouse?
Yeah, okay. Before
Wow.
ROW,
PWA.
it was PWA. And this is our first time to go to a PWA show. And like,
This
oh,
is
the
years
internet.
ago. This is like
Yeah, years ago.
9 years ago or something.
Thousands of years
Yeah, the internet championship, and like we didn't know what was going on. I think the guys in front was like, "Oh yeah, the champion has a mouse for."
And we were like, what is he holding? And the guy's like,
Yeah,
next
that's
to us, like, he has a mouse. He's just the internet champion.
like, wow.
That's a stretch, but all right. But the question is, do you think the talent overall in present day is better as far as ability to put on good matches compared to rosters in the past if more of the chains are off, so to speak? Thanks as always, guys.
Read that again?
Do you think that the talent overall in present day is better as far as ability to put on good matches compared to rosters in the past?
I mean, I think they have as talented or as deep of a roster as they've ever had, if that's what he means.
Yeah. Just the array of superstars that they have in WWE and coming up through NXT. It's certainly a deep roster, and I'm looking forward to the day where, the majority of the people who are out with injury return, because that could put up all kinds of different combinations, and
Fresh
I'd like to see.
matchups.
That's what I'd really like to see more than anything.
I mean, they have guys who have killer matches all the time that just aren't, like, focused on, so no one thinks of them as, like, a serious contender. Like, Luke Harper rarely has a bad match, but no one thinks, like, Luke Harper is a fucking player because he's not focused on as a player.
Yeah, and it's also tough because WWE is
That's just one
consistent.
example.
WWE is consistent with starting a match, giving us like 3 or 4 minutes. Let's go to commercial for 3 or 4 minutes, come back 3 or 4 minutes, and the match is over. So it's like, okay, that's a total of about 12 minutes, but we only saw, close to half of it. And then they didn't really get enough time to build up any momentum. I mean, it's a 3-hour show. Surely every once in a while you can give us a 15 to 20 minute match. They don't have to always be these 6 to 8 minute matches that at least we get to see. But, it's they have the talent, they have the roster. They could easily, give us top quality entertainment, but you also have to think about you're going to burn out your talent by doing it that way as well. So, because they're on the road so much. So, something to consider.
When you were talking about Luke Harper a while ago, it just reminded me of this, and I'm sorry, I'm going back to the Royal Rumble. When Brock Lesnar was coming in and doing German suplex to that big man, Luke Harper.
Poor Harper.
Man, he took a few. It just looked crazy on him.
He probably took more than his share because Strowman probably couldn't take them.
He took Strowman's share.
Or they probably
as well,
didn't want Strowman to take them. They're probably still protecting Strowman.
Mm-hmm.
Not that he could have taken them if they wanted him to.
That would be a scary thing.
Yep. So, final question coming to us from Hugh, who actually privately messaged us. I don't know if you guys saw what he was saying.
I saw he's from New Zealand. He's not from, where did I say he was from?
England? I don't know.
Ireland. I thought he was from Ireland, but he's from New Zealand.
Yeah. So it's still, that's going to be one heck of a long trip.
Yeah, man.
So safe travels on your way down here. Hugh says, question for you guys. Last week, I was lucky enough to attend 2 NXT live events in the Midwest, and at both shows...
That's not the same Hugh.
Oh, okay. Well, it might be a different Hugh then.
There's HUGH is from New Zealand. HEW is not from New Zealand.
Gotcha. Thank you for the clarification. He says he attended...
Man, I fucking know what's up.
You do. You know our listeners. He attended 2 NXT live events in the Midwest, and at both shows, Eva Marie got booed louder than anyone I've ever heard at any wrestling show. Does that make her a good heel? I know people would say no. A good heel should be hated for the right reasons, actions, storylines, and what have you. But the reaction was so visceral, I think there's a lot of money to be made with her. When's the last time there was someone people really wanted to see fail and get beaten?
The last time?
Yeah. Maybe JBL. Where it was just like, I freaking hate you. I'm going to cause riots.
I don't know the last time it happened. I mean, there is, like, he's talking about does she have go away heat or does she have, like, good heat?
Right.
Go away heat.
It's definitely go away.
Well, I go back and forth on this all the time. I convince myself that there is no such thing as go away heat anymore, and then sometimes I'm like, yeah, that person has go away. I know, like, when people have go away heat with me, but
who was the last person to have go away heat with you, or someone that pops into
Chris
mind?
Jericho last Monday on Raw had go away heat with me. I think the only way to really tell if someone has good heat or go away heat is if it affects a business, and Eva Marie is not in a spot to move the needle one way or the other, even if they hate her. So I would say it's perfectly fine to eat. Like, so I go through these phases where I'm like, heat is heat, and if you're in this day and age where everybody,
you're getting a reaction from the crowd, and that's all they want.
Well, I think it's more complex than that, but essentially, I don't know. In this day and age where everything is so open, like if there's any reason that they legitimately hate you, then it's as good as being hated for the right reasons. And then sometimes I convince myself that go away heat is a bad thing, but I think it is only a really, really bad thing is if the only way that it can really affect business if it's someone on top that would be expected to draw, and people were so not wanting to see that person that they stopped coming to shows, stop buying. I think that's the only way you can definitively say that's go away heat. Because if not, then if they didn't want to see you, they are still fucking showing up. So is that go away heat? I don't know.
Yeah. It's like, well, I'm not going to pay attention to your match. I'm waiting for someone else.
Yeah, but you bought your ticket.
Right. It's definitely tough. I mean, you could go back to like the 80s and early 90s days of wrestling where the fans would genuinely hate someone. I mean, take Roddy Piper, for example, or Ted DiBiase. The crowd was like, oh my God, I freaking hate this guy. But,
See, I see where Hugh's coming from with there is money to be made with Eva Marie in the heat sense. But the difference between her and someone else, I think, is that it's only good for that. I think you can only get away with it that one time.
Yeah.
And then once she sort of loses that, I think it's gone.
Then it relies on your actual talent.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she's there yet.
I don't mean that as in like one single match. I mean, she's got one run of that type of heat.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as that gets as soon as you get past that, like you can't replicate that again.
Yeah. So, anyways, anything from you, Tyler? You ready to play 2K16?
Well, I won't be able to do that for a little while.
Go
I
get
download
that.
it, but
Sounds sad about it.
I know, you're so
sorry, I
so
got something
bummed.
in my throat.
No, he's a legitimate bummed. So he's gonna go cry in his bare bed. And
Yeah.
so, but that's gonna do it for us this week. Thank you for the questions. Make sure to submit your questions on our YouTube channel, WNS Video, also our Facebook page, WNS Podcast. Check us out on WrestlingNewsSource.com and WrestlingNewsSource.com on Facebook. Subscribe to us on iTunes by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast.
We are also on Stitcher, Beyond Pod, and Player.fm. Just search Wrestling News Source Podcast to find us.
Twitter @WNS Podcast, @WNS_Daniel, @Tyler_Aber.
There you go. So for the podcast crew, I am Dino Heron,
Hey, Bear.
Doug.
and we will catch you all next week.